Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Wednesday Night Warfare, brought to you as ever by the Armchair Dragoons. I am Cyrano, ringmaster of the silliness, and we have a crew. This is a different crew from the one that we usually see. I hope we haven't lost anybody. I see everybody. I see Mike has joined us. Hey, Mike. But I seem to have lost two of the players, and I don't like that. Where did they go? They left the. I lost both Nikita. Oh, there's Brian, and there's Nikita. You're back. I'm glad. I was worried. All right. So it is a pleasure. It is a pleasure to have all of you here with us. And tonight we're going back to something. Oh, and I think Nikita, I think that was. You're going to have to either you or Brian are going to have to mute your mic. Thank you. And we're going back to something that we've done in the past, and this is the in my judgment the underappreciated Men Against Fire, done by Professor Paddy Griffiths while he was at Sandhurst in the Sandhurst War Games, and it's based on S.L.A. Marshall's Men Against Fire. That's S.L.A. Marshall right here. Check him out. And his book, and I'm not going to get into the history or the literature on it because it's very extensive, but his book was revolutionary at its time, and it was based on his experience, and some of which has been criticized, with actual combat veterans, and his conclusions about how men in combat did or did not engage the enemy. And it was his ultimate conclusion that the vast majority of rounds fired and the vast majority of men firing weren't shooting at the enemy. That they were in fact preserving themselves psychologically by not firing, by not engaging in combat. And while I say his numbers have been questioned and the situations that he's engaged that brought him to this have been questioned, this game still, I think, is an interesting exercise. It's a little bit of role-playing game. It's a little bit of tabletop war game. And I hope it's not an intense amount of frustration for our really, really cool players. But before we can get playing, we have to assign characters. All right? And we have a deck of cards here. Now, we have 4 players. There's 8 total roles. I have them all sussed out and sorted into the cards. I will be botting the 4 other characters. That's no problem at all. So it'll be just these 4 folks. I want you to know that the person who draws the character of Gerald Ignatius Joe, those who've watched me play these games before know that there's something very special on this table today. There's something different and unusual. It's a tank. And that is the tank, commanded by Gerald Ignatius Joe, which is very, very different. John Stanley and Mike Orwick, a pleasure to see you as ever in the chat. So the first thing we're going to do is assign these characters. But these are characters over here that aren't in play, and I'm going to use them to demonstrate to the folks playing what we're talking about. I'll flip this one over at random, and when you want to flip something, you just hit F when you're moused over it. This is private IP freely. And what this game does is it breaks warriors down into 2 groups. And I'm looking over here, by the way, for those who can't see it. And if you ever, by the way, if you want to learn a tabletop simulator tip, you want to mouse over something and hit the Alt button, and it makes it very, very big. And by the way, any of the players, if you have questions as we go along, feel free to unmute yourselves and give me a holler. I'm happy to help. But anyway, we know his name. We know he is a non-fighter. And again, the game breaks soldiers into fighters and non-fighters. Non-fighters are those that are not necessarily going to contribute towards the completion of the mission. There are people, however, who are in the group. There's no IP freely fig, I assure you. And so he is a guy that you'd have to look out for. He also has a reputation. And you're going to have to share only your reputation with your fellow players. His reputation, no heroism. Everybody in the platoon would know that IP Freely is not necessarily a guy who's going to go out there and be gung-ho. How does IP Freely win? Everybody wins a little bit differently in Men Against Fire. He wins if he survives unhurt. And he does not use his weapon or give of any help to a wounded comrade or refuses, I should say. So he is not to use a weapon, but he also must not refuse aid to any wounded comrade who asks for it. Each one of you is going to draw one of these cards from that pile over there. All right? You're only going to reveal to the other players and to me and to the world which character you are and what your reputation is. Nothing else. They don't get to know your victory conditions. All right? So, with that in mind, and we'll explain much of the rest when we get back into the game. Anybody care to draw the first tile? Any volunteers?
I'll draw. Which pile is it?
It's this pile right there. Take the first one right off the top. Drag it to yourself. Nobody look at it. Just keep it upside down for now, I think. That's probably best. Who'd like to draw the next?
Here I go.
All right. Take it to your spot. Next. And Nikita, looks like you're last. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over there. What I'm going to ask you to do, because you can see you can't even tell. So no peeking. No unwarranted peeking. Judd, why don't you flip yours over? Tell us who you are and what your reputation is. Just those two things.
All right. I am Private Audie Murphy, name I've heard of before, and my reputation is possible heroism.
All right, flip your card back over, please. Private Audie Murphy also has the distinction as he carries the BAR for the squad, so we're going to take him along for the ride. There he is. I'm going to bring him he'll come with the pack. We actually have all these set up on the main board. We're not playing on this board, let me assure you. Let's see here. We'll go over here to Nikita. Why don't you flip? Nobody peek at Nikita's card. What you got? Who are you? And what's your reputation? Make sure you unmute when you talk, though. Unfortunately, can't hear you. You're unmuted, but I still can't hear you. That's strange. All right, I'm going to let you poke at that. I'm going to come over here. I'll peek at it for you, Nikita. I'll tell the folks that you are Corporal Ingmar Bergman, and your reputation is for possible heroism. Possible heroism. All right. Let's see here. Brian, why don't you flip yours over? Take nobody peek, and tell us who you are and what your reputation is.
I am the aforementioned Sergeant Gerald Ignatius Joe.
Oh dear. All right.
And I am undoubtedly heroic.
Undoubtedly heroic. All right, so that's what everybody thinks about him, which means he's the man driving the tank. Very good. And last but certainly not least, Joe.
I am Private Val Keir, and my reputation is I'm doubtful heroism.
Doubtful heroism. All right. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each of your cards with us on this little ride, because we're about to take a trip. We're going to take a trip into the actual game, but here's the cruel thing I have to do to you. I am going to, and I want to make sure I got the rest of the right cards. I do. I need you all to use a function that we have here in Tabletop Simulator. It is called the blindfold. This is where the game master, the umpire, gets incredibly cruel. You are going to play most of this game blindfolded. Judd has already done it. Well done. You're gonna hit that B key. That's for both you, Nikita, and you, Brian. Hit your B key. I can see the blindfolds appearing. There you all are. You're in the dark. This is where you're gonna spend most of the game. Let's. So I'm gonna grab these cards. We're going to go over to the actual game so the folks at home can watch. They will get to watch. By the way, how many people do we have watching right now? Well, we've got 8 viewers. It's very good to see. No, there's no Vive l'Empereur tonight. But hey has, hey run. So we are here. And I want you all to imagine that it is, let's say, August of 1944. trust you are all blindfolded. You are. Well done. It is August of 1944, and you are in a group, we can't even call it a full squad, of 8 soldiers, 7 including the tank. And you've been given a very simple mission. Cross the countryside and rid it of any lingering, retreating German resistance. The Germans are in retreat. They're on the run, and it is your job to stop them. The trick is you're going to have to do it in a way that, and if you want to make notes at home, if you want to draw on a pad of paper, I certainly don't object. But what I'm going to tell you is entirely mental theater. You are going to have to do this in your minds, and I will describe it for you, and you may ask questions, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to give me very, very simple descriptions and very simple orders. Obviously, the man in charge is Gerald Ignatius Joe, commander of the tank. Sitting to his, naturally over to his immediate left, is going to be Corporal Ingmar Bergman. And by the way, I'm going to let you position yourself wherever you want. I speak of left and right as only almost like a figure of speech. Let's see here. I'm going to make sure I got all my guys. Here's Bergman. What I'm doing here is I'm stretching them out for everybody to see, because part of the fun of this for the people watching at home is they get to watch you suffer. I won't lie. Where is my guy Ingmar Bergman? There he is. And that must mean I've got G.I. Joe. Now I need Audie Murphy. That's who I wanted. There he is. And then I've got Velker. Okay. Yes. And the person after whom he's named is actually my son, Velker. And he sits over to my left tonight, watching all this happen, as he always does. And then I've got... All right, so there's all the players. And now for the non-players. We have Private Michael Midgie Antler. Michael Midgie Antler. His reputation? No heroism. None at all. Next to him is Private Devlin Devlin. Doubtful heroism. Private Thorin Dali Nor. Undoubted heroism. And you can ask me for these at any time. And Private Wendell Wilkie, possible heroism. All right. So so what are you going to do on a given turn? Well, the first thing that you're going to need to realize is that you're going to give me directions in any one of the 8, or I should say, it is 8, right? That's the number. I should count these things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 8 cardinal directions. We will speak of front, back, left, right, front right, back left, and back right. I will tell you what you see in that direction because you're looking ahead and your field of vision looks ahead. And if you take time to look around, you can. That may cost you. You don't know. Every single turn, I'm going to say to you, here's what you see. What do you do? And what are the things that you are allowed to do? Now, by the way, you are allowed to communicate with each other, but that too can take up time. What is more important is what you communicate to me, because that is the thing that you can do. You know, those are your actions. So what can you do? You can move. You can perform aimed fire at a specific target. You can make unaimed fire in a general direction in the hope of suppressing a target. You can watch for a target, basically go on overwatch to see if anything appears. You may care for the wounded, or you may lie low. That's it. Those are all your options. When you move, you have a choice of running, walking, and crawling. Now you would say, why wouldn't I run every turn? The answer is, if you run, I have to roll a die and determine whether or not your act of running has disoriented you and caused your sense of direction to fail you. If you do, I will be turning you in another direction and your orientation will shift. I won't tell you I've done it. You'll just have to deduce it based on what you conclude you are seeing or not seeing. If you wish to fire, I will be obviously rolling dice to determine, and I have a chart of combat ranges and distances on this table. I will tell you in general terms that this table is 4 feet by 6 feet. I can also tell you in relative terms, because a human being knows how fast they can walk and run, that crawling is at a range of 1.5 inches. And running is a distance of 11 inches. Walking is 7. The tank moves at a walking speed in this situation. Obviously, its gun is the most powerful weapon on the field. Most of your weapons, except the pistol, have essentially unlimited range. The pistol has a range of 11 inches. So, before we begin, I'll describe the general scene. You are walking along a road. That road is one of these wider, tracked trails that were common in Normandy in 1944. Forgive me, and I did forget one thing. Visibility. If a man is walking in daylight, which is what this is, visibility is essentially unlimited. If, however, you go to ground, if you cower, if there is someone hiding, they can only be seen if they are looked directly at and someone takes the act of spotting. Note specifically, this applies to your foes. I would also tell you, for those who have played Men Against Fire with me before, the fact that I've given you a tank should give you a bad case of the wig. So, with all that having been said by the way of prologue, you are on this road. This road is one of those typical roads that was rutted in the Normandy bocage during 1944 and on. Immediately ahead of the tank, and the tank is really sort of leading the way in a small way, but I'll let you orient yourself initially as you wish, and that's up to, by the way, that's up to G.I. Joe, because he's the man with the plan. But just up ahead, to the right, let's call it a distance of, I happen to know the ground scale, so I cheat. A ground scale, let's say about 10 yards ahead, immediately ahead, begins a hedgerow. It's to your front right. And that hedgerow seems to extend off into the distance a fair way. Off to your right, only about 10 yards from the road, but to your right, not your front right, is a much smaller track that leads off and seems to line a sequence of trees, an orchard that begins 60 yards from where you're standing. Off to your front left and to your left is field, all relatively open. If you looked all the way in the distance, some distance of a reasonable estimate would be 90 yards, almost the length of a football field, you see a train track that makes its way at an angle from your front left to directly ahead of you at the end of the road. So the first question I would ask of Sergeant Joe is, how do you wish your men to initially deploy? I remind you that Ingmar Bergman, that it is Audie Murphy that holds the BAR, and you also have Corporal Ingmar Bergman to account for, as well as the other troops. How would you like them to array themselves initially?
So we've got 7-foot infantry right now, along with the tank. Is that right?
Accurate.
So why don't we go 3 abreast, 3 on the left, 3 on the right, with Audie Murphy behind the tank following.
All right. Anybody in particular left and right?
No.
All right. So grabbing them at random, I have placed Corporal Ingmar Bergman at the far left. I try to maintain a spacing of about 6 yards between the men, forming a line. So immediately to the left of the tank is Wendell Wilkie, a non-player character. Ooh, but then it's Velker. So he is between Wendell Wilkie and Ingmar Bergman. Ingmar Bergman is at the far left. Stretching to the right, we have Private Midgie Antler, Private Devlin, and Thorin Deli Nor. All right, so the tank is in the lead. We have Audie Murphy behind it. And then we have Wilkie, Kerr, and Bergman. To the left, to the right, we have Antler, Devlin, and Nor. So what I'm going to do, once again, is make my way down through each of you, and I'm going to ask you what you want to do. If you need a refresher of what those options are, I certainly can share them, but I think you'll find that they were pretty straightforward. Any general questions before we start the suffering?
In the tank, do I have free communication with the groups outside?
You would have communication, as long as everybody is within yelling and signaling distance. I'd only be concerned if you let them go a far distance away, but generally, yes.
Do we have any support, or is it just the 7 of us against the world?
It's you. You are it. Anything else? Great questions. I do want to make sure that I had comms from everybody. I think it was it you, Nikita, that was having a problem? Are you good now? I hope. Nikita, you're showing on mute. Oh no. See him there, he's in the game. Aha. You can hear me, but you can't talk. That's so strange. Because you are showing on mute in the chat. You can hear me. All right. If you can hear me, if you want to work on getting your audio back up, that's cool. But I can check the Steam chat and get your instructions from there. They're actually pretty easy to type. So we'll get ready to roll. I'm going to start with G.I. Joe. Turn 1. What do you want to do?
I'm going to hold for now, let the infantry advance a bit. You said we're about how far from the track off to the right?
The track off to your right is about 6 yards.
Oh, we're right at, okay.
Yeah,
and the hedgerow is about 60 yards ahead?
Like I say, the hedgerow is 6 yards to your front right. The track is 6 yards to your hard right. 8 yards, let's call it, a little further.
Okay, I'm going to hold and let the infantry clear the hedgerow.
All right. And like I say, and that hedgerow runs parallel to the road straight ahead of you. So, all right. Well, I'm going to go back here and say, hey, Audie Murphy, you're behind this tank. What do you want to do? You're sucking diesel fumes.
I'm going to walk out to the right and go into an overwatch position with the BAR to cover my infantry compatriots.
All right. So you're going to walk to your front right, and in doing so, you're going to get right to the edge of that hedgerow where it starts, and you're looking out, and you're trying to spot things that are coming towards you off the edge of that hedgerow. What you see directly ahead of you is the track spool. Like I say, that track comes, it goes straight ahead, but about 14 yards in front of your present position. It veers harder to your front right, and again, it is running in front of this orchard. And that orchard begins, I would say right now, math is hard, 42 yards ahead of where you're standing.
Just to clarify, when you say track, are you talking about a path? Or are you talking about a vehicle track?
I would say it's a path. Okay. Very hard to use by any kind of vehicle. All right. Well, Midgie Antler, who happens to be right next to you, he oddly enough, he's scooched up right behind you, Audie. Private Antler is pretty much snug up right behind you at the edge of the hedgerow. Devlin. Okay. Devlin too. He's drifted up there, and he's sitting right behind Midgie Antler. And I don't believe it's interesting. I put everybody on I get wound up with everybody on the left, kind of at random. And Delinor just happened to grab everybody at random. Yep. He's cruised over and he's hanging out to the right rear of the tank. Wendell Wilkie, that tank is to your front and right. There's a field out ahead of you and the road runs ahead of you. What do you want to do? Did I have a Wilkie? I thought I did. I guess I didn't. Take it back. He's my last bot. Wendell Wilkie is coming up to the front left corner of the tank. Velker, you've just seen Wendell Wilkie move off to your front right. He is now to the front left corner of the tank on the road. What do you do?
What do I see directly ahead of me?
Directly ahead of you is a bunch of field that goes on for a huge distance. You will see, there's a road. And this too is a path. There's a path that runs from your front left to straight ahead, but if you walked straight ahead, you wouldn't hit it for a good 100 yards.
Okay, so immediately there's a field, a tall grass field.
Nope. Not a lot of cover out there.
All right, I'm going to move I'm going to move to my front right and get behind Wilkie, who's just on the front left of the tank. Yep, I'm going to be a couple steps behind him.
Got it. You are right there. Excellent. How about you, Ingmar Bergman? What do you want to do?
Is this working?
It's working. You're great.
All right. What's around me?
Right now, you just saw Velker head out behind Wendell Wilkie. They are over to your front right. I would call it a distance of about 24 yards. And then in front of you is field.
The same kind of barren field.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Well, I guess I'll.
Unfortunately, you just cut out just as you were about to tell me.
Just move forward from where I started. Keep the formation fanned out. Walk forward.
All right, just walk. Got it. Thank you. All right. So now you've actually, whether intending to or not, you've formed a reasonable picket line with Bergman at the left, Wilkie near the center, as well as Midgie Antler. But you've got Audie Murphy up on the BAR right behind the hedge. I got to do one thing for. Well, I got reasons.
And how many? There's 2, 3 NPCs behind Audie Murphy.
Let me take a quick count there for you. 2. There's 2 behind Audie Murphy. Delinor is back near the tank. All right. Well, that turns it over to you, Joe. What do you want to do?
G.I. Joe, you're asking.
I'm asking G.I. Joe.
Got it. How far? So just to clarify again, my mental model here: the hedgerow parallels the road on the right side.
Yes.
Starting, just in front of us. Okay.
Yes.
I'll advance the tank straight ahead.
How far?
10 yards.
Okay. So that's not bad. That's a reasonable thing to say, I think. All right. Well, I think everybody is around can understand that tank is squeaked forward. It's now pretty much drawn parallel to the edge of the hedgerow where it starts. It's a little advance of it. And Audie Murphy, you're peering down to the right of the hedgerow, trying to see if anything nefarious is going on. You don't see anything, but you did hear that diesel machine creaking behind you. So it is up to you to tell me what you want to do next.
I've got the BAR. I still want to stay in Overwatch, but I'm sweeping my vision all the way around 180 degrees from front to front, right, and looking back too.
You got it. Midgie Antler, Devlin, doing that same thing. Dalinor, he's rolling up right behind that tank. Wendell Wilkie, he's following up front left of that tank. Velker,
I'm going to stay in formation with Wilkie.
okay, you got it.
So I'll move about the same amount.
But you want to stay. You want to stay snug. You want to go to your front, or do you want to go a little more to the right to stay snug on the tank?
I'm sorry, stay snug on the tank.
Got it. Ingmar Bergman.
I mean, you said we had a pretty good picket line going, so you know, just keep your eyes open and keep walking forward.
Got it.
Can I do a team communication?
Sure thing.
So I guess this would be addressed to our sergeant. Sergeant, do you want us to stay in a group to the left of the hedgerow, or do you want me and two others to isolate and go to the right of the hedgerow, where I assume we will lose direct visibility with each other?
Your surmise, by the way, is accurate. That you would lose visibility of each other.
So I want you to hold position in Overwatch for now until the tank is advanced up the road with the other half of the squad.
Roger that.
All right. Well, then, Sergeant Joe.
Yep, same walking pace advance with the tank. Dead.
Okay, and walking pace, and this is something you'd notice. Walking pace is actually closer to 30 yards. It's 11 inches. So you're gonna move a good deal farther that way than just the 10. So, but again, the men can keep up with that pace. To be clear.
Yep, copy.
Okay. Audie Murphy.
Like the boss said, we're going to hold here in Overwatch, but we now are looking, I guess, front, right, and rear left.
Got it. Both Midgie Antler and Devlin are giving you a whole lot of, hey, the tank left. The tank is down the road where we're not. Is what we're supposed to be doing. This is good. You're getting a whole lot of that. Dalinor, keeping pace, has remained at the right rear of the tank. Wendell Wilkie, remaining at the left rear of the tank. Velker.
Staying in formation, hugging the tank behind Wilkie.
Bergman.
What do I see to my left?
To your left, you're getting that road, as I say, is closing up on you. You can see the train tracks. Let's do a few distances for you. Front left at about 60 yards is where the road is. That's to front left. Straight ahead, you're still a good chunk of distance from it. And then the train track intersects your field of vision at about 90 yards.
All right. Well, you know, keep moving forward. Obviously, got to have a loose formation. We're patrolling.
All right. Nefarious deeds. Perform nefarious deeds. That's not bad at all. All right, Joe, you're up. Sergeant Joe.
Just another clarification.
Yep.
So off on the right, on beyond the hedgerow, which is blocked to the tank now, but what we
Mhm.
saw before, you said there was a vineyard on the other side of that track
Orchard.
at some point. Orchard, front right. Okay.
Yeah, that orchard is now to your. You are literally about to draw parallel to its beginning. At your right.
Okay, I'm gonna tell Thorin Dalinor to shake out and fill that gap between Ingmar and Wendell Wilkie on the left, and also advance 10 yards.
Okay, so you want Dalinor to peel off the. You want him to peel off from the right. And you want.
So
him
he's
to,
hugging the tank rear, yeah. So
Yep.
he's
Mhm.
yeah. I want him to peel off, fill in between Ingmar out in the field and the road we're down.
Okay. He definitely gave you a look of "Are you sure?" But he went and did it. No doubt about it. So now, what are you? Are you hanging where you are, or are you going to drive the tank some more?
We'll advance, half the walking speeds now that we're at the orchard. So
Okay.
15 yards or so.
Got it. Wilkie hugs the left rear. Velker, sorry, I want to just deal with the bots real quick. All right, Audie Murphy. The tank now is out of your sight down the road. You are looking down, and you are in a blocking position, or you're in an overwatch position at the looking to the right over at the orchard. But you can hear it obviously, but you can't see the tank. What do you do?
How thick is this hedgerow?
This is a hedge. This isn't bocage. So it, borrowing from Chain of Command, this would count as light cover, not heavy.
Light cover, not heavy. Okay. Is there movement restriction going through the hedge?
Yes. It would cost you your entire move.
Okay. We are going to roll up and proceed down the road after the tank at our full walking pace.
All right, so you're going to go to the left of the hedge rather than to the right where you've been looking?
Yes. I take it if we wanted to stop and push out to the right or push out through the hedge at the end of our walk, that would take up the entire move.
Well, there is a gap that is visible in the hedge, but it's very near your entire walk distance ahead of you. There is a gap there, but you'd be able to clear it.
So we'd take a position right at the edge of that gap, still in the soft cover, but looking out what we can to the right.
Got it. So yes, you walk to your. Now remember, you were pivoted, sort of looking at an angle. So you instead turn to your immediate front, which is a left turn of 45 degrees. So now you're walking parallel to the hedge. You walk parallel to the hedge. You arrive at the gap. You then insert yourself into the gap, and again look to your front right, assuming cover. It should not surprise you in any way that Devlin seems to not notice you'd left for a second and then literally runs as quickly fast forward as he can to get behind you. And Midgey Antler does exactly the same thing, wedging themselves into the gap behind you in the hedgerow.
Well, I'm going to have to watch these two.
Velker. Private Velker, what do you do?
Let's see. Wilkie has moved up on the rear left of the tank again, correct? Keeping position.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to fan to the left of him, just left of him, keeping the tank between me and the orchard.
Done. Dalinor is a little behind because he was, he got shipped out there by that rapscallion G.I. Joe to take a position, so he's gone and done that. Ingmar Bergman.
All right, there's been a little movement. Where exactly now?
Uh-oh. Who went away? Holy cow, I lost everybody. I don't want to lose everybody. I like you guys. Okay, you're all coming back. That's good. I am missing one person. Where did Joe go? I gotta get Joe back. Ooh.
The fields on the left.
There
and
we
then-
go. Sorry about that. I was away for some bizarre reason. I don't know what's going on tonight. So we were discussing the positioning of Ingmar Bergman. Please go ahead. Do we have?
Oh, I was going to say, where exactly, now that the squad has moved, where are they in relation to me?
Sure. Immediately to your front right, you have Delinor, who's been ordered out onto that flank by Joe. You've got Velkur ahead of him slightly to the right. To Velkur's right and at the left rear of the tank is Wendell Wilkie, and then you have the tank. Immediately to your right, but at some distance now in the gap in that hedge, it's 30, he'd be 30 yards away, is Devlin wedged into the gap between the hedges.
All right. Do I hear, do I hear anything? Do I like smell anything suspicious, or is everything kind of seeming okay?
Everything's creepily okay.
Oh, hey, all right. That railroad track seems clear. I'll just keep my eyes on that. Keep walking forward. Keep the formation loose.
Got it. All right. So as we end the bottom of the turn, Midgie Antler begins spraying fire to the front right and screaming that he sees Germans in the trees. He says, they're directly ahead, they're directly ahead, they're directly ahead, I see them, I see them, I see them. G.I. Joe.
He's shooting out into the orchard.
He's shooting into the orchard.
So we'll stop the tank, observe in that sector, slew the turret around, and hold in Overwatch.
Got it. Obviously, you can all hear gunfire at that range and the screaming that's coming out of Midgie's mush. So, Audie Murphy.
I am going to do suppressing fire in the same direction, and then, well, I guess that's going to be a turn's worth right there.
Yep. And again, you may recall, and I'm glad you remembered, you are allowed to do suppressive fire in the hope of hitting something, even if you don't know that there's something there.
I got the BAR. It's my job.
That's why is it that everybody who gets the BAR in my Men Against Fire games takes exactly that attitude? It's delightful. The Devlin is yeah, there. Okay. Okay. Wendell Wilkie. Yep. Velkur.
Yeah, so Velker is oh crap, and he dives for the tank.
All right, he's gonna run and cower. Well, he's not so much gonna run. He's just gonna get, because he doesn't have to. He's gonna get behind that tank,
Right.
so he's sort of parallel behind
Right.
Wilkie, behind the tread. He's got the left
Take
tread.
cover.
Wilkie's hugging the right tread. Got it.
Yep.
Ingmar Bergman, looking to your right, you see that Delinor has run straight at the tank and is hugging its left tread. You're now hanging out there all by yourself in the middle of a field. Ingmar, I cannot hear you. Sorry.
I heard you say Delinor.
Oh no, it's right. Ingmar Bergman. Yeah, you saw Delinor run over for the tank, so you are now hanging out all by yourself in the middle of a field.
All right. So, and I heard the shaky guy say that he allegedly saw Germans.
Absolutely.
and started shooting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna. Can I go to like a crouch?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna do that, and before I start shooting, look at where everyone's shooting.
Well, what is being shot at you can't see. It would be as you look in the
Oh
direction
yeah, it's
where
obscured.
yeah, it's past the hedge and it's into the orchard, which for what it's worth, you're parallel to the start of the orchard. You can see the trees, you can hear the fire, you can see some of the tracers going into the trees, but you have no earthly idea what it's shooting at.
I mean, what kind of fire does it sound like? 30-06, 30
It's small
cal?
arms. It's all M1. This is all M1A1. M1A1. What am I saying? This is all
Alright.
M1 Grand.
And a
I
lovely
got you.
BAR.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, and you just heard the BAR go off too. Yes, you heard Audie Murphy's BAR go off in that same direction.
Yeah, all right. I'll stay crouched for now and see how this develops. Maybe move up a little if I can.
Okay. G.I. Joe, Sergeant Joe, you're looking out there and you're seeing a lot of cover, but you're seeing some fire, but you're not seeing anything moving. Not at least that would be German.
Are Audie Murphy and Midgie Antler, are they both in the gap in the hedgerow firing out?
Yes.
Is that where
Yes.
they're placed? Okay.
Yep.
And I observe nothing. I'm going to hold fire and direct Wendell Wilkie to watch front.
Okay. He is singularly you've rarely see someone low crawl that low. But he is doing it, and he is smuggling his way. He's going to try to make his way between you and the hedge. I'll give you a little room so I can make that work. And he will get, like I say, he is low crawling, and he still doesn't have a vista through the next. There is another gap in the hedge that he is making his way towards. It's just in front of him, and he'll get there next turn.
Sorry, is that Wendell Wilkie who's doing that?
Yes. Audie Murphy.
Wendell Wilkie.
Oh, sorry.
So Wendell Wilkie's between the tank and the hedge.
Yep.
BK and DN are behind the tank.
Yep.
Bergman is all the way to the left.
Yep.
I'm there with MA by a gap. Do
Yep.
I hear any return fire coming my way?
None.
Any cracks or whistles or anything?
None.
Okay. I'm gonna cease fire. Instruct the guy behind me to do the same thing, and wait and listen to see what we hear.
As you do that, Midgie says, I see him, they're in there, I'm telling you, Corporal, I'm telling you, Audie, I'm telling you. But he does stop.
I'm also gonna be just, calm down, dude.
All right, that's happening. Ingmar Bergman.
All right. What can I see now over in the orchard department with whatever move I got last time?
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, you said did you want to crouch and start making your way over there? We can certainly do that.
Yeah. Then I'll start moving forward. Trying
Okay.
to stay a little bit.
Well,
low,
like I
but-
say, right now you're facing what would be road forward. You'd have to turn to your right to start making your way over there, which should certainly be permissible. We can get that done. So which one of the walking ranges do I want to do? That's what I wanted. Yeah. Okay. So you've turned to your front right.
Sorry, you cut out. I'm facing road.
Yes, you turn to your front right. You're not directly at it, but you are roughly facing the road. I guess I would say you're approaching it at an angle. That's the phrase I wanted. And in fact, your walk lets you get to it, or your crouch move, I should say. So you are now roughly front left of the tank. You are staring straight into the hedge. This is from last turn. And now you're looking at the hedge, and you can see into the gap, and you absolutely see nothing. You can also see off to your front left that the hedge ends another 30 yards away, and there's nothing past it other than the orchard, other than the trees. And you certainly don't see anything that looks like a German.
All right.
Bear in mind, though, you're quite close to the road now.
I guess if there's nothing over there, I'll walk to my front left to kind of fan back out.
All right. Front left, turn, move. Done. Still in a crouch. And Velker.
So, what has the tank done?
The tank has not moved. It has pivoted its turret to face into the gap, and it's, you can see, because I imagine at this point G.I. Joe pops the hood, is looking out from the hatch and is trying to figure out where everybody's hiding.
Okay,
if there's anything to be shot at.
And what's directly in front of me?
The tank.
Okay, I'm going to stay here and be part of the tank until I hear somebody tell me I got to do something different.
Roger that. Sorry, just debating something. Yeah. Oh boy. Sure as God made little green apples, a Panzerfaust round comes screaming through that hedge. That gap in the hedge. You can see the guys. I don't. When you say a Steam timeout, Nikita, what do you mean? What's happening to you?
I'm not sure what's happening to him. It could just be something on his end,
Okay.
or maybe something's up with Valve's end. I'm not
Oh,
too
it's
sure.
Joe. It's Joe. I'm sorry. It's Joe. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't.
Yeah,
know.
One time it kicked me off and then relogged onto the game, and then the second time, it says I was kicked off due to inactivity, and then
That's
I had
weird.
to relog into the game again. I didn't know if there was a setting I should have changed.
Yeah,
I don't want to belabor it.
yeah.
I can try and figure it out.
The only thing I would have you poke at is make sure that you're using Steam Chat and not Tabletop Simulator Chat. That is sometimes been an issue. That is, where the devil is that? Yeah,
I just know they were different.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure you're in the Steam Chat.
Okay. I'll try and figure that out. Thanks.
Sure. All right. So as I say, that Panzerfaust comes humming through that gap. That is a hit. That's going to pin the tank. It hits the tank at the front left quadrant. That's going to pin you. Now I got to check to see if there's an injury.
You mean a mobility kill, yeah?
Yeah. Well, there's very, very little that would destroy it in this game. It's more about psychology and moving it on. So you're pinned but not injured, and you've got to roll to get out from being pinned. So now what the crew sees is the tank has been hit. The tank has probably been damaged. It's not destroyed. That isn't the way the game works. But this is a morale shock, because now the sergeant who's in command has to get out of this jam. The advantage, of course, he gets to try to roll out of it right away. We'll see how he does. But now it's clear to everybody firing in the hedge gaps where this is. The only person who really can't see it is because he moved a little bit too far forward is Bergman. But Bergman definitely heard the impact and would have a smart enough sense as to where it is if he wants to head over that way. So let me first to see if G.I. Joe can roll out from that pin. Well, that's a first. He does. So you come out from under that pin immediately. You can't act until next turn, although that's I usually don't get people out from pins that fast. Well done. All right, so that takes us back to Audie Murphy. Hopefully not one of the mics that I've lost.
Sorry, could I see anything from like the pounds of smoke trail or anything like that?
Oh, you can see the guys that did it.
I'm shooting at them.
I thought so.
Aim fire.
I'm not
What
yet.
was it?
I'm not shocked. All right. One of them starts screaming something in German. It didn't sound like death pain, but it did sound like somebody who wasn't particularly inclined to move right now. Hard to tell what exactly they're doing back there, but didn't feel like a kill, but it's hard to say for sure. All
Just to
right.
clarify, you said I can see them. Are they in the orchard? Are
Yes, they are cowering in the undergrowth, in some of the undergrowth in the orchard, in a tree. Oh, that's a good point. Thanks for that. You're facing, remember, sort of your front right of that hedge. You're on sort of that angle. They are directly ahead of you, at about 50 yards, and it is.
If only I knew someone who had a main gun.
All right, so okay. Velker.
Okay. So the tank has not moved.
Tank has not
It's
moved.
staying right where it is. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna scan from my front to my to all the way to my immediate left.
Mm-hmm.
What do I see?
Same bucket of nothing. The tank is taking a hit. You can smell the cordite. I'm assuming that's cordite in a Faust. And you can look down. But it's still that same field. You know, it's been
Okay.
been describing all along. Nothing's coming out of it.
Okay. All right. I'm staying where I am. I'm hugging the tank.
All right.
If it moves, I'll move.
Check one other thing. Yep. Wendell Wilkie shouts into the tank. Sarge, what do you want me to do? Sarge, what do you want me to do? You can respond.
Return fire.
He creeps forward and shoots. And Ingmar Bergman. Corporal Bergman.
So just to confirm, the tank is slightly behind me and to my right on the road, along with the orchard.
Well, the orchard is to your hard right and covers your entire view, really front right to back right. But yes, your description where the tank is accurate.
All right. I'm gonna turn to my left and look, because that Panzerfaust and shooting probably has now attracted like every German in the area.
Scanning the horizon, are you? Okay.
Yes, my direct left, the uncovered
is-
flank.
All right. That's that. You know, you make a compelling point, Bergman. Straight ahead of you. Straight ahead like on a rail. Call it 90 yards. You sense motion. You sense motion almost in the ground. You can't tell what it is, but there is motion.
Like the ground's like shaking, or like.
Nope. There seems to be people moving, but you can't tell. It's hard to spot them.
Oh, I got you. Just like shadows or.
Yep, they're
or
not. They're
flickers
not.
or whatever.
It ain't people running in the open. I guarantee you that.
I got you.
All right, now I got to do some rolls. G.I. Joe.
So I have a clear shot with the main gun at the
Yes, you do.
Panzerfaust
Yes, you do.
troop. We're gonna take it.
Yeah, I gotta ask. It's... That tore up one of them in the worst imaginable way. Can't account for the other one though. All right, that was some hard shooting. Wendell Wilkie was kind of surprised because he didn't expect it to come tearing over his head that way, but he does shoot. He is literally under the main gun. Oh, Wendell Wilkie, war hero. Who knew? He just killed somebody, and you just saw it happen. So Wendell Wilkie fired through the gap, and that was seen by Audie Murphy, who was looking with his BAR over in that direction. And it would have been seen by the commander of the tank. So certainly Audie would have seen the death of both of them, actually. He's got a clear view of both. But he saw both members of the Panzerfaust team killed. So, Audie Murphy.
I take one more look at the orchard, yell at MA, who's behind me, to advance to the gap where Wendell Wilkie is, and conduct suppressing fire out over the orchard just in case somebody else is there.
Midgie Antler. He comes up and he scoots up behind the tank, and he is now scooched up directly behind, and he would know this, Wendell Wilkie, and he's also right under the gun being commanded by Sergeant Joe. Velker. Seems to be a lot of people happy about killing somebody, but you don't know why. You're sitting at the left rear of that tank.
Yep, and I'm staying there. So
very good.
So it's a good piece of cover.
Ingmar Bergman.
There's a lot of you there.
It's a nice tank. We like it.
You said that weird. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
You said that like the disruptions or whatever was 90 meters ahead of me.
90 meters ahead.
I'm gonna yell over to the guys. Possible contact front 90 meters.
Excellent.
And if I can go down and go into Overwatch.
Got it. Marked as lying prone. All right, your sense of timing is impeccable. Gunfire erupts from that spot, even as you go down to the ground. Those who could see it, those who could hear it, would be the commander of the tank. It would also be Deli Noor and Velker, who are on the left side of the tank. Those that can see it would also be Wendell Wilkie, who's at the front right of the tank. Midgie Antler, who's standing behind him, can hear it, not see it. Audie Murphy can hear it, not see it. Devlin can hear it, not see it. Gunfire directed at Ingmar Bergman, always a hero. Okay, that one that was a close one. That was a close one. There were some bullets fired that got pretty close to you. That shot, not so near. I forget how many I'm dealing with. I build these scenarios and then I forget. Okay, so that was 2 shots that came whizzing your way. One of them really, really uncomfortably close to your prone position. G.I. Joe.
We're going to slew the turret around in the direction of the gunfire.
Mm-hmm.
Going to take another shot. Not aimed shot. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, they stuck their head up. I can't defend them. A huge eruption of dirt comes out of the main gun as it hits the fortification that's down that way. That's what it is, and it's pretty clear once the shell hits it what it is you're firing at. These are some guys in some pretty serious cover. Going around the crew. Audie Murphy.
Am I walking distance back or am I a running distance back?
From, I'm sorry?
For the pulling over the tank. Am I a walking distance?
Oh, it's an easy walk. The tank, you're only about 15 yards behind the tank, so yeah.
So I'm going to walk up to the front right of the tank, where I can see the fortification.
Yep.
And I'm going to shoot at it.
Unfortunately, you can only walk that far. You're not allowed to do both. But you'll-
Okay, then
yeah,
I'll come up to the front end of the tank and
Okay.
do a quick peek.
got it. I'll put you over here then. What I've done is I've walked you around the right side of the hedge, just because you've already got Wendell Wilkie and Midgie Antler wedged in between the tank and the hedge. So you're now at the right of the hedge, peeking out that way, and yeah, now you can see where the fire is going back and forth. You could certainly see where the tracers are coming from anyway, and you've got a measure of cover because you're at the corner of the hedge.
As long as no one shows up behind me, happy place.
That's a bum 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 bum. Velk, let's see here. Wendell Wilkie turns to his left and opens fire. Pew 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 pew. Has Velk? I don't think I've called on Ingmar Bergman this time, have I?
Counting the time I went down.
Right. Yeah. No. I think you get to fire from your prone position if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll do some aimed fire and maybe yell over to the tank commander to hit the fortification with a smoke shell.
The challenge is you can't aim because you can't see them. You're firing at their. You know they're there. You just can't see them necessarily.
Oh, all right, I see.
You're firing into their space, and you never know what you're going to hit.
I got you. Sounds good.
As I say, sometimes it causes screaming, you know. All right, that caused screaming from that fortification, pretty audibly so. And yes, you did scream out to call for a smoke shell. Okay. And Velker, I know you're hugging that tank. You still hugging it?
I'm still hugging it, but where is Ingmar from where I am?
Ingmar Bergman if he were just a few yards to the right, he would be dead parallel to the left tread that you're hiding behind, and about 10 yards ahead of the tank.
Okay, I'm staying where I am.
All right. Firing back.
Crouch down.
Picking my targets. Churning up the dust near you, Ingmar, but no shots, no hits. Well, those were shots, just not hits. G.I. Joe.
So I'll oblige the corporal and fire smoke round.
All right.
Vicinity of the target.
That's an easy lander. And large gouts of smoke appear. It takes a second for that to show up, but so it's going to go through this round, but then it'll be obscured by smoke in the next turn as it comes whooshing out of there. Where's my guy? There's Audie Murphy. What you've just seen that tank fire smoke. You've seen what it targeted at. You know where it's going to build up, so you know the location of that fortification. You still can shoot indirect fire at it. Well, shoot, you can always fire the indirect fire at it. It just prevents direct fire. So what do you want to do?
What is ahead of me?
If you look to your
I'm not the.
If you look to your front right, you've got a 10-foot gap in the hedge, another section of hedge that leads to the end of the hedgerow, and then off just straight ahead of you, there's a small opening to the side of the road, but to your front right and to your right, it's all orchard.
Okay. I am the only one that is over to the right, so I'm gonna sort of pull behind the soft cover, so I'm obscured from the fortification, and then look out to our right side. So as front to however far right you'll let me look, and sort of overwatch that area.
Got it. You're doing that. Wendell Wilkie shoots. Oh no, we've had a hard crash. That's dreadful. Am I going to be able to save the game? I want to try to save the game. Going for the big save. That seemed to work. All right. Those of you who have played Saturday Night Fights, you know how all this works. I don't want that. I don't want
Can
that.
you repeat it?
All right. Are you back? All right. I see people coming
We're back.
Excellent. I knew if I waited, you all would come back. Now,
We're
I
out
have
of the game.
yeah, I have reset the game. Come back on in. Same server.
Yeah, it hasn't come up on the server browser.
Ooh. All right. Let me see if I'm well. I have to be connected. I'm talking to all of you. Huh. Let me go one more time out. Seems like Tabletop Simulator occasionally does have these meta crashes. Yep. Looks like they had a meta crash. At least I don't feel so bad. All right, creating the server one more time. Showing up in the browsers yet?
Yeah.
I'm
I
getting
did
a
get
There
back
it is.
There it is.
Just got it.
All right, I'm just I'm putting you in the staging area just long enough for you to all get on there and get your blindfolds. Like, look at that. People know what they're supposed to do. Love it.
Oh, am I supposed to pick the color still?
No, you don't need to right now. Oh yeah, pick a color because you'll need one. You don't really need it for the game we're playing, but I always like people to have it. All right, so you're all in. You're all good. You got great pings. That's awesome.
I'm in.
And you're all blindfolded. So I'm gonna bring the game back, and it's back. So where were we? We were talking to.
Audie Murphy just
Audie.
finished looking around to the right.
Yeah, you finished looking around to the right. Exactly. Well done there. Yeah. Yeah, so that happened. And that's it. Wendell Wilkie shot. That was right. Dalinor. Velker.
Well, the tank hasn't moved
It has not.
and no one's firing at me. I'm just going to stay where I am.
All right.
Hug that cover.
Corporal Bergman.
All right, so I can see the smoke now.
This right after your actions and after the Germans go, the smoke will appear.
All right, so I'm gonna get up from my prone,
Mm-hmm.
and the fortification is to my front, correct?
Dead ahead of you.
I will move to my front left diagonally, so as to get closer to the fortification, but not walk into the line of fire.
All right. And you want to go to walk pace?
I'll run.
All right. As I say, there's a calculated risk with the run, but you'll be able to orient yourself.
Sounds good. Sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit.
Ha! Man runs at full tilt. He's leading a charmed life right now. All right. Well, they get to shoot at you. Let's see how charmed. Oh, that's a pin. That's a hit. Take that one right in the thigh. So you're pinned under fire. Not wounded, mind you, but you are pinned. And so you're going to have to see if you can roll out of that, which also sets you prone. Now it's going to be a better shot because it's going to be indefinite, but that one got you. That one got
Me?
you. Yep. Bergman, sorry.
All right.
That one got
All
Bergman. The other thing is, and by the way, who would have seen that? Joe, you would have seen it. Dalinor would have seen it. Velker would have seen it. Wendell Wilkie would have seen it. Audie Murphy, he's checking the other way, so unfortunately he would not have seen it. The one other thing that is now visible to you as far forward as you have come, Bergman, there is another fortification to your front right at a range of 90 yards.
Just my luck.
Yeah, they're they fortunately for you, I guess they haven't seen you yet, but they will shortly. So yeah, now it is obviously at 90 yards on the opposite side of the road, nestled in the end of the orchard. Okay, so that was the shooting. Very good. I'm going to do something that's probably just going to freaking break the game, but I don't care because I love doing this. And not that any of you are going to appreciate it, but I'm doing it for the folks watching at home. There it is. I have brought out my fun smoke model, which you'll all get to see later, I promise. There we go. Smoke. Oh no, who went away on us? Keep getting people kicked out. I hate that. Please come back. Good. I kept everybody in voice chat, which means they can come. Did I lose you again, Joe? No, Joe stayed. Oh, it'll have to be somebody else. All right. With the smoke now placed, obscuring the view of the first fortification, I call on G.I. Joe.
So we're gonna dance about 20-yard front, assuming I'm not gonna crush Wendelke.
No, he's to the front right, so you're fine.
Okay. Gonna advance straight ahead.
Rolling along the road. You got it. All right.
And we're not.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we're not aware of the second fortification.
Correct. Audie Murphy.
Sorry, I just came back from disconnect.
Sure. What happened was I placed smoke in front of the fortification. If you missed it, I think Ingmar Bergman, I think you were here for this, Ingmar Bergman took a wound and is now pinned. He took a shot and he's now pinned in his position. He's got to try to get out of it. And then G.I. Joe advanced the tank 20 yards straight ahead down the road towards the fortification. But he's still on the road. So, Audie Murphy.
Is he past the end of the hedgerow now?
Is the tank? No, it is not.
Okay. I am going to advance to the front end of the gap where I am, and still keep my my cover position looking forward and to the right.
You now, because of where you've come to and because of the exchange of fire, can see that fortification. Yes, there's a little, the hedge veers just a tiny bit from where you are, but just you can see past it, and what's its range from you? About a little over 100 yards. It's a football field away, but you can see it down there, that fortification nestled in the trees.
I'm out of actions for this turn.
Correct.
Or I can still.
That's
okay.
That's it for you, but you can
I
see
yell
it.
at anybody and say I see it.
Yeah, go ahead. You can give a shout. Absolutely.
Okay. I alert everyone else to the fortification that I just spotted.
Okay. Yeah, that's reasonable. Let me go through here. All right, so Thorin Delinor, he is going to book up because he saw that tank leave. He is none too enthusiastic. He is behind the tank, having followed it as it advanced. I therefore ask you, Velker, what do you do?
Where am I in relation to? Um, well, I should say it like this. I want to move with the tank.
Yes.
And I am also going to see if I can spot the condition of Ingmar, the private who took fire.
Absolutely. So you're gonna sneak up behind the tank. You're looking out, and you see that he is to your front left, at a range of. Let me move you up just a little bit. He's at a range of, math is hard, a little over 50 yards to your front left, and he is just off that little trail we described before, and trying to make himself as low as possible. It is entirely possible he is injured, but you're not sure.
Okay, I'm going to stay in cover right now. I mean, that's all my actions, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha.
Wendell Wilkie shoots up. He is going to be behind the tank. He's going to be by the tank to the front right. And now we check for Bergman. Pinned. And remains so. Shooting. Fortification 1. Fire from the second fortification at Audie Murphy. He laughs at that shot. He actually thought that shot was astonishingly poor. He laughs less at that one. That's a wound. Audie Murphy has taken a shot from that gun, and you heard him. You know, Audie Murphy doesn't scream, but he is now injured, and therefore also pinned. And now this sucker heats up. G.I. Joe. You heard Audie Murphy say, you know, he shouted it out, "Sarge, I'm hit! Sarge, I'm hit!" And you know they're now firing to your left, and they're also firing to your right.
Are we still obscured by smoke from the left
Correct.
fortification?
Correct. Yes.
So we're going to bring the gun around and take a shot at the right newly revealed fortification.
Yes. Yes. Kicked up a whole lot of dirt. Can't say exactly what it did out there. But it did, you know, it's not like you missed it. It's not little. But you did fire and you did hit something. I gotta check one thing on a NPC. Give me just a moment. Very good. Got a lot of guys pinned. Okay, Wendell Wilkie. He is coming around behind, and he is giving aid to Audie Murphy. Velker.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and walk to the front left of the tank.
Yes.
Okay. Actually, belay that. I'm going to go ahead and run to the position where Ingmar is.
Yes.
Okay, and hit the dirt as soon as I can get a clear sight line on him.
You see him the whole way. And
okay.
You'd see him the whole way.
Okay.
You know where he is.
All right. I'm gonna hit the dirt beside him.
All right. Well, you're not going to get quite to him, but I understand what you're saying about hitting the dirt because your run distance is what it is.
Yep. Cool.
All right. And so you are hugging the ground out there. All right. Let's check for our affecteds. First, we got to check for Bergman, and now we got to check for Murphy. Okay. Both of them are still on the ground. All right, German firing out from the fortification. Ooh, who do they want to shoot at? Who do I want to shoot at? Let's check. Yeah, they appear to have noticed Velker deciding to be brave. He's getting to dance a little bit as those bullets tap dance around his feet, but nothing so much otherwise. Now from the other bunker. Checking one thing. Look at that. And that gives me, yeah. Who can they see? They're actually, their best target is probably, yep, it's going to be Velker. Oh, that's a wound, Velker. So you two are wounded out in the middle of the field. All right, so that's the bad guys. G.I. Joe, you have just to remind you the situation. You've got Ingmar Bergman pinned. You've got Velker now wounded. You've got Audie Murphy wounded. You've got Wendell Wilkie tending to him, which will take effect this turn. And then you've got 2, 3 other guys that you don't quite know where they're at. What you want to do?
Still smoke out to the left.
Yes, that's likely to persist for the balance.
Okay. Take an aimed shot at the right fortification.
Got it?
Take that out.
Okay. All right. Wendell Wilkie has bandaged the wound of Audie Murphy, and which unpins him. You are able to act.
What's the nature of my injuries, or what are my restrictions?
None.
Oh, is there any other soft cover I can see between me and fortification 2, soft or hard?
The best you could do is put yourself at the edge of. You could basically stand where Wilkie is to basically jam yourself up against the edge of the hedge and sort of shoot around it.
How far away is the fortification?
100 yards.
100 yards. Okay. And there's no other soft cover between me and the fortification.
If you went front into the right, you would get the advantage of the orchard, but that too that's not going to be a whole lot better than the hedgerow or the hedges.
Right. I'm going to grumble something about the effectiveness of soft cover, get behind what I can, and take aim shots at the fortification.
And unfortunately, all that's got to be unaimed just because you can't see them in there, but I get your point.
Okay.
All right, that's some fire in there. Wilkie back there. Velker is wounded. Let's see how Bergman's doing. All right, Bergman, you have unpinned yourself. What do you want to do?
All right. So the fortification is like some kind of sandbag position out in the open.
Exactly.
All right. How close am I to it?
60 yards.
60 yards. All right. I'm gonna try to crawl closer. Assuming it's still smoked.
Oh yes. Just remember though that they've got a clear shot at you from the one on the right.
Oh, I see. Like what exact, like what's the angle looking like?
45
between
degrees.
The right.
45 degrees front right.
45 degrees front right. All right. Then I will. Would I be able to crawl so I'm perpendicular to the left fortification, or would that have to be a walk or run?
That'd have to be a walk. Walk would get you there.
I'll do the walk because then they'll have to either shoot through the other fortification or not shoot me.
It's not that they have to shoot. They're essentially, you are directly ahead of the other. When you walk, you're going to be directly ahead of the smoked fortification, and that other one is far enough away that it remains to your front right, but now you've got the advantage of cover from the orchard, so it's an indirect fire. You're not sitting out in the open like you were.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, then I'll do that.
All right. I gotta check these guys. I suppose I should have done that. All right. Let me apologize in advance to what I'm doing. Fortification 1. Who does he see? Yeah, well, he doesn't really see anybody. He's got cover anyway. Jeez! That is a wound on Bergman. Coming from that fortification front. Who is the best shot? Other bunker. Checking something. Shot 1. Hey, Audie Murphy, you're going to get yourself that silver star yet. That's a second wound. Coming out of
Rumbles
that.
about soft cover.
Yeah, that's that. There's a whole lot of shot up guys. Yeah. Oh shoot, did I check him? Didn't. All right. Yep. All right, Commander. Let me tell you what you see. Wow, we can get there. Okay, G.I. Joe, what you see. You know to your right, you've heard Audie Murphy scream, he's hit again, and he's on the other side of that hedge. Behind you and to your right is Wendell Wilkie, who has been doing his job. Apparently, Wendell Wilkie's job in this battle is to keep Audie Murphy upright. At least that's the way he's interpreting it. If you were to swivel around to your rear left, you would see Devlin has suddenly taken off running, and you don't know where. Up to your front left, you see the wounded Velkur, who's out in the field calling for aid. If you see to your front left, you see Delinor running to assist Ingmar Bergman. Something that you might not have expected. What do you do?
How far out ahead am I of Wendell Wilkie and Audie Murphy?
You are all but parallel with Audie Murphy. Wendell Wilkie is 10 feet behind you.
Okay. I'm gonna back the tank off to come parallel to Wendell Wilkie.
Mm-hmm.
Try to provide them some cover from the left fortification and continue to fire at the rightmost.
The way you would do that, if that's what you're looking to do, is pull ahead of the hedge that is to your right. You could... Oh, doggone it. Tabletop Simulator decided that our Wednesday Night Warfare would not be a stable night for it. I'm assuming all you gentlemen are still in the chat. I hope.
Yes,
I'm still here.
Good. Let me see if I can create a server. The nice thing is there's a much higher level of autosave. I've reloaded the staging area. See if you can get to it, please. Also, Tabletop Simulator has become far more popular than anybody I think ever expected. Oh, let me get out of here, sorry. Just missing one player. Hope we didn't lose anybody. No, he's still there. There we are. There's Nikita. All right, everybody's blindfolded. Nikita, if you can blindfold, please. Excellent, thank you. We'll go back. I think this will be the best autosave, right? Please tell me so. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so the best way for you to do that, and you would be able to see this, Sergeant Joe, is to pull up to your front right and block at the edge of the hedge, the far end, the end of the hedgerow. And you've got easily enough movement to do that and still shoot.
And that's what I'll do. Yep.
So you've pulled up ahead of the hedge. Audie Murphy, though wounded, you can see that the tank has pulled up directly in front of you, has even pulled off the road a slight amount, and is placing fire on the fortification, which we will now do. Okay. And it has done that. Wendell Wilkie has again bandaged Audie Murphy. You can act. He didn't go far.
How far ahead of me is the tank?
End of the hedgerow.
And then another 90 yards beyond that is the fortification.
Exactly. Yep. You can't. You could peek around if you moved forward. The next turn, you could peek around the side of the tank and shoot at the fortification. That's sort of the setup.
Is there how far? Well, yes, I will do that. I'll advance to the corner of the tank that lets me peek around the front of it. My next turn.
Wilkie's gonna come with you.
Thankfully, I own a beer.
Delinor, he has cured, as it were, in the way the game does. Velker, you can act.
Okay. I am going to. Ingmar's. It was wounded, right?
Yes, he was pinned actually,
He was
but
pinned.
it's a minor wound. It's not as severe as the one you caught.
Okay. All right. I'm going to. he's gonna go ahead and belly crawl back towards the tank.
Very good. You are crawling, and that is known. All right, I'm going to give you another shot at it, Ingmar. Do it on your own. No. All right, German fire. Gosh, who's he going to shoot at? Yeah, it's Delinor. Oh, Delinor, this is what your courage will get you. Amazing. Delinor takes a hit and is down. Pretty much right next to you, Velker.
Roger that.
That bunker. Yeah, it's got to shoot at you guys, but that's not the best shot in the world. Yeah, they're pattering bullets all around you and not hitting over much. I got to check another thing in there. Nope. And then... Well, Velker's injured. I have never had this gift for rolling sixes, which is parenthetically what I'm doing. So now, Delinor and Velker are in the field, injured, just slightly behind the tank to its left. Ingmar Bergman remains pinned on the road. Audie Murphy is behind the tank with the BAR. The tank is leading the way, as one might expect. Wendell Wilkie is directly behind Audie Murphy, and Midgie Antler is sneaking up behind the tank. Oh, that's right, I didn't move him. I should have moved him. There we go. All right. G.I. Joe.
Yeah, so gotta neutralize one of these two. Take another aimed shot at the right bunker.
Right bunker. There you go. That prompted some fairly intense screaming. Audie Murphy.
What sort of BDA can I see in that second bunker?
You just saw there like I say, there was a fair amount of tearing up that just happened from Sergeant Joe's shot by the tank. And those guys are putting their heads down, down, down. Based on the counts you were coming back with, you got 2 to 3 guys in there, no more. Small arms.
How far would I have to go, or would I be able to get to a place of getting an aimed shot at the bunker?
They would have to stick their heads up more than they're doing. That's what would predicate it.
Gotcha. And the bunker's 90 yards away.
Yes.
And there is soft cover between me and the bunker.
If you veered off to your right, there would be in the form of the orchard. You'd have to go front right first.
I'm going to. And sorry. And how far are VK and DN to the left of the tank?
Velker and Dalinar, yeah. Dalinar and who are you looking for? Those are the 2 you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
They are. They're a good chunk. They're 30 yards.
3 yards. Okay. So I can walk to them, but I can't walk in return.
Correct.
Okay. I will go out, walk to VK, and start patching wounds.
You'll be able to do that next turn. I'm assuming you're going to hit the ground when you get there because you can do it on the ground. And you have discovered that Midgie Antler is out there with you, so you're going to be able to do double duty out there. Wendell Wilkie pulls up behind the tank and offers fire. Small arms at the bunker, unaimed. Okay. Ingmar Bergman. Checking. There you go. Unpinned. What do you wish to do?
Did I get any closer to the fortification before I was shot?
You did. Ingmar Bergman, you are now 60 yards from it, just off to its... Oh, no, what am I doing? You were hit here. Sorry about that. That's part of the save functionality. Yeah, you're basically perpendicular to it. It's just a bit under 60 yards away.
Did I play football in high school?
I'm going to say with a name like Ingmar Bergman, you're probably more in the theater program, but go on.
I want to see if I could throw a grenade that far, but I think that's pushing it.
I will let you know that you are at liberty to chuck a grenade at a range of 33 yards.
All right, we're just going to have to keep crawling and hope we don't get shot.
All right, here they come. Not good enough that time, boys. Bergman, the dirt chummed up around you. That one was close, but not close enough. Oh, those guys. Yep. Nope. How about this fella? Out of range. Okay. That is all she wrote. So once again, let's recap. G.I. Joe, you're still at the edge of the hedge, looking forward at the bunker. You have Wendell Wilkie to your right rear tire, firing, as it were. You have to your front left, at a range of 27 yards, Ingmar Bergman crawling towards that leftmost bunker. You have both Dalinar and Velker wounded on the ground, being tended to by Audie Murphy and Midgie Antler. You have no idea what has happened to Devlin Devlin. What do you wish to do?
Observe any fire from the right bunker.
Not that last. There was one shot last round. Yes.
We could put another round into that right bunker for good measure.
Got it. Okay. Another good hit, may I note? Okay. Audie Murphy, you spend the turn to bind the wounds of Velkur. Velkur, you are able to act. What do you wish to do?
So Dalinor's wounds are already being bound by someone.
No, not
Already
right
being
now.
worked
No,
on?
no. Midgie Antler hasn't acted yet, but he will. Yeah, the idea is he will be acting this turn. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Well, he hasn't acted yet. I'm going to roll over
Mhm.
and bandage Delinor.
All right. Delinor is able to act. Delinor is up. Delinor is immediately moving to the hedge to your right at top speed to try to get behind the tank. So the three of you, Velkur, Audie Murphy, and Midgie Antler, are outstanding in the field. Midgie Antler does the same thing and goes booking over to the hedge, straight to his right. Wendell Wilkie is going to attempt a shot. Ingmar Bergman, you still crawling? You'll be able to chuck a grenade next turn if you crawl again.
Yep, keep crawling.
Only credible question. Well, I took that shot. Midgie went. Thorin. Audie and Vel went. Yep, we're good. One check. And fire. They're still shooting at you, Ingmar, but I don't think they can see you. You'd like to believe that anyway. Fire is, for your information, G.I. Joe, still coming from that bunker that's straight ahead of you, otherwise known as the right bunker. Once again, you've got Wendell Wilkie to your right, Thorin Delinor to your left rear. Behind him, Midgie Antler. Well to the left, out in the field where they just bandaged those two goofballs, is Private Audie Murphy and Private Velker standing right next to each other. What do you want to do? Oh, you've also got Ingmar Bergman crawling directly at the bunker to the left.
Yeah, am I aware of his advance
Oh,
towards
yes.
that bunker?
Oh, yeah, you're kind of looking at him like he might be a little demented, but anyway.
Yeah, he would probably be danger close for a tank round.
If
The
you wanted
bunker.
to shoot that, if you want to shoot the bunker on the left, you can, but you are still getting fire from the right.
We are. Okay, then we're going to keep hitting the right bunker.
Kaboom. All right. Audie Murphy.
So I've sort of lost how far ahead or whatever I am from the tank.
You are almost parallel to the rear treads of the tank. It is to your right,
Oh.
just slightly ahead of you, and 21 yards to the right on the other side of the road.
Okay. So now bunker 2 is something like 120, 130 yards away.
Actually, it's less than that. It's about 90.
90 yards.
Mm-hmm.
No soft cover between me and
Not a
bunker
bit.
2. Sweet. Bunker 1 is
Smoked and straight ahead.
straight ahead distance.
Slightly less. 81.
81. Okay. I am going to run behind the tank,
Yes.
so like looping around behind the tank to the orchard area. And whatever distance forward I can manage and ending up in cover.
It basically leaves you parallel to the rear tread. You're running straight to your right.
Okay.
You're running straight to your right. You make it to the cover of the trees. You got that. Velker.
And I yell
Oh,
at
sorry.
Midgie to do the same thing.
To just basically what to
Right.
follow, essentially to follow you.
Yeah.
Got it. And oddly enough, he does. Velker.
I'm gonna go ahead and, if I read the situation correctly, run to my right
Mm-hmm.
to get behind the tank for cover.
Got it. Kind of crowded back there now. Anyway, that's been the case a lot, I guess. Saving the best for last. Hey, Berkman, you throwing a grenade, huh?
Yeah, I can only crawl for so long. I think maybe trying to take out this bunker. I think maybe that might be prudent.
Incoming, fellas. Yeah, it's the only thing that doesn't do it. That sucker blows up in a big way. Alright. Grenaded and then over here. Can he? No, you know what? And at that point, when he sees the grenade, the officer who is commanding that bunker comes out with his hands in the air and surrenders. There's only so much beating they're going to take, and that's sort of the way the mission is. So, gentlemen, if you'd all be so kind as to unblindfold yourselves. I've erased some of the guys just so I could keep track. So the next thing we do is we talk about the roles and see who wins. And by the way, more than one player can win for obvious reasons. So, tell us about yourself, Sergeant Joe. Who were you?
So, Sergeant Joe, the undaunted hero. My win condition was to survive unhurt and the group aim achieved.
All right, so that has to be that's a win.
And I can also not refuse aid from someone who asked for it, which I believe was also satisfied.
I should say so. Corporal Bergman, who are you? Ingmar Bergman. I'm pretty sure I brought you along. There you are. Do we lose you? Oh, no.
Oh, there is this go?
There
we
you go. You're
Hello?
good.
Yeah, there we go. I was possible heroism. My win goal was to achieve the to survive unhurt and achieve the group goal, and I could not refuse aid to anyone who asked for it.
And to be technical, you were never hurt. You were pinned. There's a difference. These other fellas were hurt. You were not. So congratulations on another win. So we have 2 wins so far. Got 2 more to go. Let's... Private Velker, who are you?
I am. Well, 1 second. I am doubtful heroism. I survive whether I'm wounded or not is my win condition, and provided I do not use weapons, which I did not, or refuse help to wounded if asked for it, which no one asked, but I helped anyway.
Right. And you intuited, I think, everybody, that when somebody's wounded, they're asking for help implicitly.
Yeah,
You know, so
I figured that.
You know, it's a guy's bleeding in the field. He's probably asking for an assist. How's that?
Yeah.
And let's see here. Where did he go?
So I think I met my victory condition.
You did. You did. And the man himself,
Awesome.
Audie Murphy, on his BAR.
Probably due to my 2 wounds, I did not meet my victory conditions. I had to make a choice a couple turns back whether I would rush the second bunker to try to kill at least 2 enemy, regardless of my personal survival, or if I would refuse aid to the 2 wounded comrades nearby, and I chose to provide aid. So
Yeah,
I think that
you actually are responsible for 1 death, not 2.
oh, which one did I do?
The your BAR fire took out 1 of the guys over here.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
you got
I got-
halfway there. Got
I got
halfway.
close, but
Yeah.
because there was an and condition to help with the wounded, I had to go to the left and help the wounded.
So, and my personal favorite, and it's, when Patty wrote these rules, who I miss very much, I've only saw him speak once. When Patty wrote these rules, it's Private Devlin's conditions that I love the most. It's actually, sorry, it's Midgie Antler. Provided you do not do anything once the shooting has started. That's why these guys took off and were nowhere to be seen. So,
Midgie Antler just followed me around half the time.
yes, which I've long interpreted as basically doing nothing. That's,
I would also hide behind Audie Murphy, so I understand that.
So it's an interesting experiment. Like I say, it's not a game that folks are going to play every day, but I am glad, technical difficulties notwithstanding, that you were able to come along from the ride. Any observations about the game, likes and dislikes?
I like the role playing aspect of it. I think it's. I thought it was really interesting, trying to have a situational awareness without having visibility, and it looked a lot different than I thought it did. Even though Valkyr didn't move too far away from the tank,
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of glad I had his wing conditions, because if I would have went off like into the orchard or something, I think I would have had it. I would have had it totally wrong. So, anyway, it's very interesting. I liked it.
Cool. Anyone else?
Jim, it was interesting that I think two of us were playing through without having noted our win conditions.
Okay.
Which is an interesting way to go through the game as well, to sort of take it naturally.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Not knowing.
You intuited it then. Well done.
Yeah, I wasn't sure my win condition if I would be able to refuse aid or not. I remembered the kill 2 enemy, but I didn't remember exactly what it said. If it was an and or an or.
Got it. So yeah, it's and for what it's worth, this map is set up from a map that was provided by the Two Fat Lardies. It's from one of their campaign games, actually. So I filched it from there, just trying to get inspiration. One of these days, and I know that some of the folks in the chat are pointing out we never do the British. I want to do the British, and it's all that. Yes. All right, so we wound up with a bunch of nice viewers. Very cool. Well, I want to thank all of you for giving it a shot and for playing in a great spirit. Even those who weren't necessarily the most gung-ho players, I really appreciated it. I want to thank those that came by on a Wednesday night to watch another one of these Men Against Fire experiments. They're a lot of fun. To those who are viewing on the YouTube, we'll be back, Armchair Dragoons, tomorrow. We're going to be playing a Battle 2 in our Chain of Command campaign. That is Vance versus the command tent in the Citadel, storming the Citadel, the scenario Clear the Way. It involves minefields. And for Saturday Night Fights, we're going to be playing Snappy Nappy, Project Quatre-Bras, so please be by for that. But for everybody watching over on the TV, I'm going to talk to the game folks just a little bit more in a second. But to those watching, thanks all very much for hanging out.